What do you notice about my pronunciation of these common words? Vegetable, chocolate, favorite. Did you notice that one of the vowels isn't pronounced? Today you'll learn why Americans don't pronounce the vowel in these common words. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Let's review this word again. Which vowel isn't pronounced? Chocolate. Chocolate. Did you notice that the second O isn't pronounced? So this sounds like chaw-clit. There are two sounds. Repeat after me. Chocolate. And the syllable stress is on the first sound. Chocolate. So that last sound is fast. Chocolate.
This is chocolate before chocolate was like cool.
Of course, you can say, let's buy them some chocolates. Here you're seeing it with the plural form, but the pronunciation of the word doesn't change. You just add that S at the end. Or you can say, they bought us a box of chocolates.
January, all I want to be doing is sipping hot chocolates.
I buy a bunch of nachos, buy some popcorn, chocolate.
Let's review this common word, the opposite of chocolate perhaps, vegetable. Vegetable.
So using a vegetable peeler, we're just going to peel it.
Which vowel don't you hear? Well, you don't hear that middle E. You hear it more as a reduced sound. So there are three sounds. Veg-to-bull.
Legend has it, he even banished a vegetable once.
And then the stress is on the first sound. Vegetable. Repeat after me. Vegetable. Maybe you're thinking, Jennifer, I would rather eat vegetables than chocolate. Ooh, what do you think? If you agree with that, put that's right, or maybe it's the opposite for you, so put no way. What do you think? That's right or no way? Share your choice in the comments. For me, it's definitely that's right. And don't worry about taking these notes. I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description.
And it was my jar of green, bright, virulent vegetable juice.
Now you might be wondering, Jennifer, why is that vowel not pronounced? It's because the vowel is unstressed. And unstressed vowels are either weakened, like you heard with veg-to, that is a weakened sound, or it's dropped, like chocolate. You just don't hear it at all. So it makes it sound silent, whether it's weakened or dropped. Here's the phonetic spelling of vegetable. Notice that dash before the V. That tells you where the syllable stress is. So you can always look in the dictionary to see the syllable stress. And generally, unstressed vowels will be reduced or dropped. So here in the phonetic spelling, notice that middle E is an upside down E, which is the schwa sound, which is more of an unstressed sound. Vegetable. Let's review this word, business. What's the silent vowel? Business.
Been in the business for 50 some years.
It's the middle vowel, the I. But notice how the first sound sounds like biz, is. So you see a vowel that is the letter U, but the pronunciation of it has a different sound. Remember, English is not a phonetic language. You cannot learn the pronunciation from the spelling. So here we have two sounds, business, business. And the first sound is stressed.
One of my favorite stories in business.
So it is good for business.
Let's hear these in sentences. He runs a small family business. Business has been really good this month. Our next word, where's the silent vowel? Temperature. Temperature. Well, you may have noticed that that middle vowel is the unstressed schwa. There are three sounds, temperature. The first sound is stressed, temperature. What's the temperature outside? The temperature dropped overnight.
Is used merely to keep your body's temperature where it should be.
Let's review average. What vowel don't you hear? Average. Well, you don't hear that middle vowel again. You hear two sounds. Av is the stress sound, and then ridge. So that A-G-E is pronounced as idge. So that's why you hear ridge. Average, average. He gets above average grades. Or the average person sleeps about 8 hours. Does that describe you? Let's review camera. Camera. What vowel sound is dropped? Again, the middle sound. So notice there are two sounds. Cam is the stress sound. Camera. Camera. You might say, my phone has a really good camera. She smiled for the camera. How about this word? Separate. Separate. Again, that middle vowel sound is dropped, but notice again that ending is pronounced as a more unstressed rit, rit. Because you'll see in the phonetic spelling, you see the two schwas. The middle one, but all you hear is the R sound, and then the end one, you hear that unstressed rit. So it's two sounds, separate. Keep your receipts separate. One pile here, one pile here, separate. They decided to go their separate ways. Now listen to this sentence. Please separate the papers into two piles. What did you notice about this word? Separate. Separate. Well, notice it's a verb. And notice you do hear those vowel sounds. So in the adjective form, you hear two sounds, separate. In the verb form, you hear three sounds. Sep, that's the stress sound. Sep, is unstressed, but you still hear it as that schwa, and then rate, which is the fully pronounced sound. Separate, separate. So this word is pronounced more like it is spelled. So you can say, please separate the papers into two separate piles.
We used to think we were separate from the other animals.
And the reason we separate that from the community.
Let's review different. Where's the silent sound? Again, that middle sound. Different. So you hear two sounds. Diff, rent, rent. And that last sound is unstressed because you see in the phonetic spelling, you see the schwa, rent, rent. Different. Everyone has a different opinion. This coffee tastes different. This very common word is pronounced every, every. So where's that silent vowel? Again, the middle vowel. So we have two sounds, every, every. And the first sound is stress, every. I go for a walk every morning. Every student liked this lesson, so make sure you hit like because I've already said every student, so that includes you, so hit like right now. Let's review this word, comfortable. Comfortable. Oh, where's the silent sound? Did you notice that O in the middle? Well, you don't hear it as an O, but it does produce a sound because there are three sounds in this word. The first sound is stress, comf, comf, but then we have a ter, ter. So that O is an unstressed schwa. It sounds like ter, comfortable. This chair is really comfortable. Please make yourself comfortable. Thinking about our last word, how about favorite? Favorite.
And one of my favorite things was picking names.
The silent vowel is That middle O. Again, there are two sounds. Favorite, vrit. So the last sound is very reduced as well. Favorite.
But my favorite effect on the body is actually on the heart.
Favorite. That's my favorite movie. Chocolate ice cream is her favorite dessert.
They're one of my favorite companies, literally.
Our next word, interesting. Well, how many sounds did you hear? Interesting. There are 3 sounds. So that first E is silent because if it were pronounced, it would have created 4 sounds. But we have interesting, interesting. That book was really interesting. You have an interesting accent. Let's review desperate. Desperate. Where's the silent vowel? It's that middle E, because again, you just hear this as 2 sounds. Desperate. But notice that last sound is pronounced, but it's pronounced as the schwa. So it's an unstressed prit, prit. Desperate. He was desperate to find a job. I'm desperate for some chocolate right now, or maybe some vegetables. Now let's review restaurant. Restaurant. What vowel sound don't you hear? Well, that middle AU. Most Americans will pronounce this with 2 sounds, restaurant, and drop it entirely. If you do hear that middle sound, it would be more of an unstressed ta, restaurant, restaurant, and it would be extremely fast where you may not hear it, restaurant, restaurant.
He ordered the most expensive meal in the restaurant.
We had dinner at a nice restaurant. That was 2 sounds. The restaurant serves great vegetables. Again, that was with 2 sounds.
It looks more like a bar and restaurant than a cramped train or aeroplane.
There, he'd gone to my favorite Italian restaurant.
Let's review natural. Natural. What sound don't you hear? That middle U. Natural. There are 2 sounds, but notice that AL at the end is an unstressed sound because it's the schwa. So it sounds like o, roll, natural. She prefers natural ingredients. It's natural to feel nervous sometimes. Let's review several. Several. What sound didn't you hear? Again, that middle sound. So it sounded like 2 sounds. Sev is the stress sound, roll, ol. And again, that AL is becoming the schwa, so it's unstressed. Several. We have several ideas. We waited several hours. Let's review history. History. Did you notice that middle O doesn't sound like an O, but it does produce a sound in sounds like the schwa, turi, turi. And then you add a hiss at the beginning. History. I love studying history. That building has a long history. Let's review family. Family. What's the silent vowel? Well, did you notice how that I sounds like the schwa? Fama, family. Now, many American speakers will drop that middle sound and say family. So you may hear it as an unstressed family, or you may just hear it as 2 sounds, family. My family is very close. We have a big family dinner every Sunday. Let's review memory. Memory. Well, it's that middle sound. But again, same as before, you will commonly hear this as 3 sounds, but the middle sound is the schwa, memory. Or that middle sound will just be reduced all together and it will sound like 2 sounds, memory, 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 memory.
I always say that I have the memory of a pea.
But you wouldn't pronounce that vowel as it looks, and it wouldn't be stressed either way. That photo brings back good memories. He has a great memory for names.
He has no memory of the past, no knowledge of the future, and he only cares about two things.
I want to share a vivid memory from when they were in pre-K.
Let's review. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's a beautiful word. Where's the silent vowel? Well, you don't hear an E in it in the middle. So it's that middle I. So it sounds like three sounds. That middle sound becomes the unstressed schwa. And it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What a beautiful day. You look beautiful today. Make sure you say that to your wife or someone you care about. You look beautiful today, honey. And now you know the most common words where that vowel is either reduced or dropped entirely, but it changes the pronunciation because you either don't hear that sound or it's the unstressed schwa sound. So practice all of these words again and again, and you need to open your mouth and say these words. So make sure you do that when you watch the lesson again. And of course, make sure you like this lesson because remember, every student liked this lesson and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.